Sithambi sibaleka nalo uhlelo lwakho lwingqayizivele. Sicela nje ukuthi uqhubeke nokubuka uhlelo. Thina sithi nje forever wena mbukeli. Uyakhumbula phela kudala usabizwa kuthiwe hayi yabona lento esiyenzayo ayenzeki, I'm sorry. Uthi uyabuza ukuthi ayibo kwenze njani ukuthi no, it's not you but it's me. We hayi kunzima ke leyo department
yo wena
hayi ngiyakutshela
uthi uyambeka jonga ke sana uthi uyambeka umuntu wakho emthandazweni haba vele bambeke kwenye indawo uthi uyathandaza ulayitha isibane siqime mbamba yo
uvela ubona ukuthi hayi
we ivale
kunzima kabi
ivale
hayi kubukela kunzima kulo department azivele nje sishone kwehamba phambili njengamanje.
Umphathiswa wombane uKhosiyenzo Ramokgopa uthi uyakholelwa ukuba isicwangciso sikarhulumente mayelana nomba wezamandla siza kulinceda kakhulu eli.
Sekujutshwe ithimba lamaphoyisa elizothungatha abasolwa abadubule babulala ikhansela le-NFP kwaNongoma enyakatho yesifundazwe iKwaZulu Natal.
Wababiza bonke uNowa wabakhela inqanawe wathi imvula iyeza ngena nawe. Hi igama lami Bethusile wakwamcinga imvumi yegospel. Thank you for watching Ekhaya Jikelele. Ngena nawe.
Ikhwelo lityala ngena nawe Ekhaya Jikelele kanike sihlabele mgama novimba wethu. Umphathiswa wombane uKhosiyenzo Ramokgopa uthi uyakholelwa ukuba isicwangciso sikarhulumente mayelana nomba wezamandla siza kulinceda kakhulu eli. Oku ke kuza emva kokuba eminye imimandla yeli ithwaxwa yingqele eqhaqhazelisa amazinyo ikhatshwa ke ngucimicimi wombane uEskom umilisela isigaba sesibini sikacimicimi emini ze ibe sisigaba sesibini ebusuku. uRamokgopa ke uthi isebe liza kuba luncedo ekulungiseleni ekucutheni imiqobo kwezothumo. Ube njengoko uyinkokheli yale ngingqi ungathi mhlawumbe injani imeko namhlanje njengoko sibona into yokubana abahlali babhinqe omfutshane bathi bafuna ukulwa nolwaphulo mthetho injani imeko?
Simo ngisho ukuthi sesimanje uvala umbhaqo sikhombisa into ukuthalo yethu njengoba ozamazama bebeka impilo yengane zethu nathi qobo engcupheni njengoba ngesinto edlule nje mangibale isigameko sakamuva ngaphambi kwalesi sangempela sonto kuthe kudubulana ozamazama ngoba babangumgodi la eduze ne-extension 3 eduze nomgwaqo omkhulu owaziwa kakhulu eSouth Africa kakhulukazi eGauteng eGoli i-main reef kudubulana lapho kudubulana bona ozamazama babangumgodi kwagcina umuntu bezedlulela nje ogcine eshawa inhlamvu yambulala kwalimala ababili akade nabo emotweni. So siwumphakathi ke sibonile ukuthi kufanele ukuthi sisukume sibambe ngoba amaphoyisa akala edonsa kancane kakhulu ehamba edonsa ngolono.
Njengoku sitsho into yokubana amapolisa abonakala ngathi ahamba kancinci nawo ayatsho amapolisa into yokubana abeke iliso elibukhali kwesisiganeko njengokuba usitsho into yokubana adonsa kancinci yintoni mhlawumbe eningarhalela ukuyibona isenziwa ngamapolisa?
Into esifisa kakhulu ukuyibona siyabona ukuthi amaphoyisa engathi amandla ekuthini asize la ngoba kukhona nama-illegal connections la kagesi sesize saba namathimba ethu la njengomphakathi sibona ukuthi kufanele sizibambele thina ngezandla zethu bafika ozamazama ba-connect ugesi la kuthina ukwenza ukuthi i-grid okuyumthamo kagesi ugcine manje so-stretcheka ungasakwazi ukuthi uphakele abantu bala kuphela ngoba ungasakwazi ukuthi udonse unike wonke umuntu ugesi owudingayo ngendlela okalwe ngayo njengoba sebewudonsa nabo bewozamazama nemjondolo leseduzane ozama impilo la behlala khona labantu. ogcina manje sowuclipha sowuvaleka ugesi sowuwa noma kune-load shedding kodwa thina ngathi manje sizwa kakhulu i-load shedding because iqhamuka kabili iqhamuka ngalama-illegal connections iphinde futhi izoqhamuka ngololu hlelo luka-government-ke lokusebenzisa ngokuwonga. So sesibona ukuthi ngcono sizibambele thina ngezandla. Ukuphendula umbuzo wakho-ke ukuthi sidinga ukuthi labo zamazama le mijondolo le yezama impilo esithwalisa kanzima kanje isuke la. Asafuni manje amaphoyisa ngoba siyabona ayahluleka. Sesifuna ukuthi ungenelela amasosha azofacilitate indaba yokuthi uvale lo mgodi ngoba lokudubulana kwalabantu sesigcina sishawa ama-stray bullets njengoba sekuqalile nje.
Right, mbukeli we-Ekhaya Jikelele uyawuqonda ukhumbule kaloku into yokubana phambili phaya ke siye saba nodliwano ndlebe nayo inkokheli yapha kwingingqi yase-Riverlea esitsho kaloku into yokubana baphila ubomi bentshontsho ngenxa yabembi migodi abangekho semthethweni. Leyo ke besindlalele yona mbukeli ludliwano ndlebe besinalo. Sihlabele mgama mbukeli. Isamu eTshwane ithi ayizange iqhankqalaze kodwa icela ikhefu ukuze imatshe iye kwi-ofisi kasodolophu ngenxa yokungahlawulwa konyuso lwemivuzo. Isixeko sifumene isithintelo sexeshana kwinkundla yezabasebenzi ethintela abasebenzi ukuba bahlangane kwindlu yaseTshwane kumbindi wasePitoli kwaye ke bazibandakanye nogwayimbo olungakhuselekanga. Uqhankqalazo ke luziphazamisile iinkonzo ezifana neebhasi, ukuqokelelwa kwenkunkuma kunye nokuhoywa ukucinywa kombane.
Amakhaza ashubisa umkantsha eWestern Cape njengoba sekuphinde kwahlasela omunye umsingo bandayo. Kulindeleke ukuthi ke amakhaza aqhubeke eindaweni eziningi zesifundazwe njengoba kunemvula endaweni eziningi. Iziphathimandla ke babukela izixwayise ngomoya namandla ungadala umonakalo.
Inkonzo yemo yezulu yoMzantsi Afrika ilumkisa ngemvula ezimandla kunye namazaza kudala umonakalo kule mpelaveki entshona koloni. Amaqela ajongene nolawulo neentlekele alindele ukumelana nantoni na enokwenzeka. Iziko lohlangulo iNational Sea Rescue Institute likhuphe izilumkiso kubathandi bemidlalo yamanzi kwanabo bathanda ukuzonwabisa kumanxweme.
We are appealing to shoreline anglers, boaters, commercial seafarers and coastal hikers to be aware of rough sea conditions and the impact of forecast weather affecting the coastline and inland. Boaters and commercial seafarers should not launch in adverse weather conditions unless absolutely necessary and wear life jackets when your vessel is underway or during commercial operations at sea. Shoreline anglers and coastal hikers should be aware of the daily 2 high tides and 2 low tides and be cautious along the shoreline.
Abahlali nabo bayaliva ulwamvila lwemo yezulu engazinzanga.
For us it's like the weather here is very cold. It's very wet. Some of the guys stand outside. No raincoats. Cold, fever.
Ikhephu nalo likhithikile kwindawo ezisekuphakameni kweentaba. Iziko iCape Town Disaster Risk Management Center lithi akukho meko zimaxongo esele zibikiwe kule mpelaveki.
Umphathiswa wemisebenzi yoluntu neziseko zophuhliso uSihle Zikalala uthi kuqatsele ukuthatyathwa kwezindlu zikarhulumente ngokungekho mthethweni eMpuma Koloni. Uthe esi senzo ke nokonakaliswa kwezindlu zikarhulumente kuthintela uphuhliso lwezoqoqosho. Umphathiswa ke uvakalise izicwangciso zokumisela inkqubo ebizwa ngokuba yi-Operation Bring Back ngemizamo ke yokulungisa lo mbhodamo.
Ukungena ngechova kumhlaba karhulumente ngumngeni omkhulu kwiphondo leMpuma Koloni. Izakhiwo zikarhulumente ezingasetyenziswayo ziphela zimoshwa ngonqevu ibe zindawo zolwaphulo mthetho. Umphathiswa uZikalala uthembise ukuthatha amanyathelo angqengqwa ngakulo mkhuba.
We cannot have a situation where these houses are occupied illegally or they become places where criminal activities happen. So we are going to work with the province to ensure that all of those houses are effectively utilized. How we found ourselves in this, it's when one department or one person vacates the house and does not report, and then the house will remain empty, and then it gets occupied by illegal people.
Umasipala ombaxa eBuffalo City ngomnye womasipala lomkhwa uvame khona.
Singumasipala ombaxa waseBuffalo City sine-challenge kakhulu kezi building zimoshakeleyo zaka-public works because abantu abathengisa drugs ngexesha elininzi basebenzisa ezi building. Nabantu bakuthi boyoyika uhamba closer to these buildings because some abantu baye barejwe balahlelwe phakathi kezi building.
Ukanti nabahlali baxhalabile. Kumemelelwa kuluntu lazisa amaziko onyanzeliso mthetho xa lubona kusenzeka oku. Abongile Yankisi kwiindaba ze-SABC eQonce.
INingizimu Afrika isithembise umhlaba ukuthi inalo isu eliphusile lokuthi kubhekwane nengqinamba yokuguquguquka kwesimo sezulu. Lamasu afaka phakathi uqeda nyanga ukusetshenziswa kwamalahle njengendlela yokuphehla ugesi. Lokhu ke kuzophoqalela ilizwe ukuthi libheke ezinye indlela zokuphehla ugesi njengokuphehla kusetshenziswa kwemsebe yelanga phecelezi isolar. Uhulumeni uyibophezele ekutheni uzokwazi ukufeza leli phupho lawo kanti ke udinga uxhaso lwezemali oluvela phesheya kwezilwandle.
Emva kokulibaziseka ongaphezulu konyaka okubangelwe kukwakhiwa ngokutsha, iblorho yasemhlali eku-N2 kwiphondo laKwaZulu-Natal ithe yaphinde yavulwa. Iblorho ke yonakaliswa ngexesha lezikhukula kuTshazimpuzi kanyaka ka-2022.
It's an important point, it's an important day for us that now we're going to have traffic moving to Durban on the correct road, on the correct side of the road.
The rand value of this project is relatively small. It's only about 30 million rands. But of course, the economic impact of a bridge having been stopped, we understand that you were talking about delays running up to an hour during the morning and afternoon peak traffic. So huge impact on the free movement of goods and services and traffic.
Amaphoyisa athi ayayibhekisisa imbiko ethi uJenene uFeroz Khan wophiko lwezobunhloli ubonwe emcimbini wesidlo sakusihlwa se-EFF ehlezi etafuleni elilodwa no-Adriano Mazzotti. Ngesikhathi ephenywa ngabe indaba ze-SABC ukuthi ngabe amaphoyisa akwakhathazini noma awakholelwa yini ukuthi kungenzeka ukuthi lesisenzo sikaKhan sishayisana nendlela yokusebenza. Okhulumela amaphoyisa ke uBrigadier Atlenda Mathe ukhombe isigaba u46 somthetho wamaphoyisa. Lesi sigaba ke senqabela ilungu lamaphoyisa ukuthi likhombise obala noma lizwakalise ukweseka noma ukuyihlanganisa neqembu lezombusazwe. Lokho kusho ukuthi ilungu akumele libonise ukweseka kwalo obala kunoma yiliphi iqembu lezepolitiki.
The South African Police Service is an apolitical organization, and members of the SAPS are guided by Section 46(1) of the SAPS Act on political affiliation or non-affiliation. The SAPS has measures in place to deal with any contravention of this prescript.
Siphinde sikwamukele mbukeli Ekhaya Jikelele kanti kwezemidlalo emidlalweni wayizolo iqembu lesizwe iProteas ishawe yiJamaica kwendebe yomhlaba yeNetball. Ake sibheke mbukeli ukuthi kuhambe kanjani ngabe konakalephi.
What they did. Good to see her back on court with the heavy strap knees. Oh my goodness.
Here's a long-range shot for Vandenberg. Doesn't hesitate and makes it count. Easy does it. It's the quick hands, fast-paced, and accuracy as well from Dalliard. Look at that. Opening that goal-shooting third as wide as possible to create opportunity. And fantastic finish from Potgieter. Dalliard is under the whip in that shooting circle, but she's holding her own.
Oh, brilliant. It's the courage, the trust to send that ball straight to Ina Marie Venter. Oh, look at that smile on her face.
The penalty was called and Dalliard does a splendid job.
Abadlali abasakhulayo bebhola yomnyazi abasuka kwiindawo ezahlukeneyo ezingathathi ntweni kwi-Cape Flats babonise italente yabo izolo kumnyhadala e-Street Netball Festival kwiziko lengqungquthela laseKapa. Le ntetho ke yenziwe ngesiNgesi liziko losasazo lalapha i-SABC.
Well, yes, good day to you and to the viewers at home. We are crossing to you from just outside the Cape Town International Convention Centre in the Fan Park, where an exciting tournament is currently underway. 16 under 13 teams from various communities across the Cape Flats are battling it out for top honours in the Street Netball Finale Festival here at the Fan Park. And of course, this competition has been running since April already. And then what happened was the teams who won the various regional competitions are now battling it out. And they've come to the spot. They were contesting on the Youth Day, and it was there where those teams won their respective regional competitions, and now they are battling out to take the trophy and to take the cup for the whole competition here at the ICC. But joining us now to tell us more about this competition which has been running, about what it means for netball and what it means for these players coming through from the communities, we are joined now by Brad Bing, the Managing Director of Sporting Chance. Brad, thank you for talking to us. Thank you for joining us. So perhaps let's just start with today and the journey up until this point.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, we knew that it was going to be exciting. I've been telling people for a month now, you've got no idea. Once netball fever hits South Africa, and especially Cape Town, it's going to take off. And that's exactly what's happened. I mean, the crowds that turned up has been brilliant. The netball program that we're running, and especially the street netball program that we run, is just awesome. And you know, when I hear children say it's the first time they've actually been into Cape Town CBD, that warms my heart. That tells me that we somewhere along the line we're making a difference, giving our children a bit of hope and direction in life. But not only that, for them to come here and to play in the CBD outside the Cape Town Convention Centre is just amazing. So no, it's brilliant. And thanks to the City of Cape Town for helping us put this all together. And not only that, but also Sunbed Cares. They've been fantastic. So just another successful program that we're running. And yeah, I think this tournament's just going to grow in strength. And the more and more people that actually attend it, the more and more I'm going to see netball actually becoming a priority for people to play, especially in schools in our communities.
And then, Brad, maybe just take us a bit more deeper into the actual running of the program. We understand that there were various netball areas that were set up so that the kids could play netball and that they could grow. Just what went into that setup and just facilitating that process so that they could play netball and get to this point?
Well, first of all, we had to find out which areas we're gonna identify to actually take netball to. And one of the things we spoke to the City of Cape Town about was very simply which areas would they like to make a difference in that will enhance the city, what they're trying to do with regards to getting on top of social evils within our communities. So we turned around and said, okay, right, if the city wants to hit those communities, or when I say hit those communities, go into them, we're going to take our program there. And that's exactly what we did. But it's not only, so then we identified the coordinator. We needed, the programs are driven by an individual in that community. You always need someone who's strong to actually drive it. So you find the coordinator. They then choose the umpires and the referees and the scorers and everything that goes around it. They then choose their respective streets that they want to play and the children who are going to be representing those streets. And then from there, they play on a regional basis. And that's exactly it. And this now is the provincial finals where they all come together. That's a good shot. Well done.
Well done.
And they all come together and we're finding out which is the champion street in Cape Town. Isn't that just the most unbelievable story? And oh man, and they've all got shoes, they've all been fed, they've all got clothing, everything is just a winner. So I think society is now the winner because of it. We're producing better citizens.
Yes, just on that note, what do you think a tournament like this, just coming through from all the grassroots areas and all the Cape Flats areas, is what it could mean for growing the sport of netball and also for these players?
Well, first of all, it's giving a lot of children out there hope. And also giving them a lot of direction in life, saying, hey, hold on a second, yeah, I'm part of something that's a global event, not just a local event or maybe a national event. It's a global event that they're actually part of. So that to me is exciting. I think the big thing for me as well has been the life skills component that has taken place. You know, these children have learnt about gender-based violence, they've spoken about crime and teenage pregnancy and all that type of thing. So I think that's been very, very important. Not only that, it's also been a situation where they couldn't participate unless they did those programs. So the big thing for us is if we can create better citizens to become better people in South Africa, then I think we've achieved our objective, besides finding natural talent and flair.
Wonderful. Brad, let's just maybe also talk about your organization, Sporting Chance. Just what are some of the things that you work towards? What are some of the programs that you work on in which areas?
Yeah, we've been around now for 33 years. September 1990 is when we started, with the idea to create an equal opportunity for everyone to play sport in a non-elitist environment. And I think we've achieved that over a long period of time. Not only that, we've put structures in place for children to participate in sport, but not only that, we've also put down sport facilities. And that's been the objective of what we try to achieve in the last 33 years. There are three key components that one needs to be able to play sport at a decent level. The first one, you need access to facilities. So that's where the street netball program is so successful, because the streets is the facility. You then need equipment, and we've supplied the equipment. And the third thing is you need structured coaching and to come structured coaching, which is what we've supplied. So I think what we've done is we've ticked off all the boxes, what we wanted to do, what we wanted to achieve, what the city wanted to achieve, what Sunbet wanted to achieve by putting something back into the children. So I think the whole thing is we've just got a winning formula, as now how do we take it forward? And the big thing for us is how do we take it forward? We need sponsors to come forward, and not only that, we also need government to get involved, because there's a bigger picture out there than what just playing netball.
Siphinde sikwamukele mbukeli wekhaya Jikelele, sibonga kakhulu ngokuthi uhlanganyele kanye nathi. I-Fourth Industrial Revolution yenzeke ukuthi abantu bakwazi ukufinyelela kwabanye abantu kalula. Kodwa-ke mbukeli, inkinga ekhona ukuthi-ke uma ngabe uchitha isikhathi esiningi ey'nkundleni zokuxhumana, ukugcina phela-ke usuphuthelwa ngezinye zezinto ezimqoka ezenzekayo. Ukuthola kabanzi ngalokhu sixhumana nodokotela uKatleho Muthatleho, yena-ke ungungoti wezesayensi. Sikubingelele sikwamukele ohlelweni dokotela, sibonga kakhulu ngokuthi ube nathi namhlanje.
Sawubona ma, ngiyabonga kubanani.
Siyabonga kakhulu. Dr. Katleho, sicela nje ukuthi usichazele kabanzi nge-digital toxins. Yini ngempela le?
Digital toxin is when technology noma ama-digitals, they steal away from you. First of all, a toxin it's something that it's something, a poison that affects your cells, it affects your life. So anything that is digital, that is stealing from you. Sometimes it's stealing your time, it's stealing your esteem, it's killing your confidence. It's what we regard as digital toxins.
Njengoba ke usho ke nayo indaba yama-toxins, ingabe zinobungozi obungakanani iy'nkundla zokuxhumana? Zingamlimaza kanjani nje omunye umuntu?
It affects your brain, because sometimes mawuhlala isikhathi eside on social media, some people end up being competitive nabanye abantu and not be realistic to their own lives. They end up being in a state of being so stressful, because they babuka abantu baphumelela kwizinto ezithile, and then now they start comparing themselves, and then they start being living under stress. Kuthi ubani wathenga imoto waphumelela into ethile, yabona ukuthi now they come to their own lives, they now start comparing. They start being so competitive, then it affects their own life so badly.
Yebo Katleho, uyabona nje ngiyabona lana ucwaningo olwenziwayo liyasho ukuthi an estimated 27% of iy'ngane ezispenda noma ezichitha amahora amathathu or more zisemafonini ziye zikhule zibe ne-poor mental health.
Yes, it's because, remember, I'm telling you, go to social media. You need to reduce time on how much you spend on social media. Because what happens is you spend 5 hours sitting on a phone, sitting on a screen. What are you benefiting? And then that is why some children, it tends to affect their education.
Manje kahlakho iziphi dokotela ezinye zezimpawu ke zokuthi uyiboneke manje ukuthi uyabona ke manje I'm addicted to social media, like what's the fine line between ukuthi cha wena nje uthanda ukuba social media ngoba uinfluence uhlezi uposta bese kuba nalokho kokuthi ke ayi uyabona manje ke cha usuyi addict, you are addicted kusho ukuthi i-social media isiyakubusa.
Yeah, when it controls you is when you can't, kunabantu who can't even function except a phone.
Yeah.
Uyavuka nje uphethe ifoni yakho, uya toilet uphethe ifoni yakhe. Yonke into ayenzayo uphethe ifoni. That when you see good now the phone is controlling you. You know, recently ingane yami was busy with the phone. I took the phone from him. No, it was last year first. Last year I saw that his marks were dropping. I took the phone and I could see the marks then became up because he was spending a lot of time on the screen.
Njengomzali nje uthi ngivumelana nawe lapho doctor ukuthi ayi mina ngomunye vele wabazali laba angiqondi kahle hle ukuthi kahle vele njengabazali izingane sizinikelana amafoni. Ikhona i-element yokuthi okay well hayi badinga amafoni for research yasesikoleni. I would think ngingamnika i-iPad or a laptop ukuthi okay une project oyenzayo nayi ke i-laptop do your research and you take away maseqedile. Indaba yokuthi ingane vele iba ne cellphone ekhula nayo engena kulama sites are different lapha ku social media vele ama marks azodropa. Mhlawumbe thina njengabazali ithini ethi rule eneblisheni izingane ukuthi zigcine seziyama addicts e-social media.
The thing is we can't judge them. Another thing is ingane they're in a different era. Tina, we come from the 80s where some of us were not even allowed to watch TV or where we didn't even have TV amakhaya. So these kids, they grow up having phones because it's easier to communicate with them. Tina, they send landlines. We no longer have those. So it's easier to communicate with these kids through the phones. They need the phones. But then there should be a limit. Kuti umtshele ingane ukuthi mawenza into ethile iningozi ethile. You need to speak to a child because sometimes the problem is not the phone. The problem is that we don't communicate with our children. Then they end up going to social media for comfort, going to social media for that friendship, for that peace. That's where they find now the solace in the social media, and that's where ingozi iphuma khona.
Ingabe ke mangabe sesimova ke mhlawumbe sesingena ke ku social media usage ebantwini abadala ke ukuthi ke uma ngabe usu addicted ke to ifoni yakhe isikhathi eside, how does it maybe affect ama relationships kwachaphazela kanjani ezobudlelwane mhlawumbe umuntu oshade naye noma umuntu othandana naye ohlalisana naye kuba namuphi umthelela kwi relationship ukuthi ayi oyedwa noma nobabili you are both addicted to social media or ifoni?
Good relationship, there's supposed to be a communication. So if nihlala emafonini isikhathi eside, you end up not talking much. So nikhuluma nabantu abaphandle, it does affect umshado, it affects our relationships. That is why you need to set your mind or set your time. Okay, mina mangifika ekhaya, I don't touch my phone until isikhathi esithile. And then or maybe when we go to bed, we leave our phones ekitchen noma edining. We don't touch our phones. So we need to limit and have strict restrictions. Okay, if only mina ngizoyithinta ngo-lunch from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, or ngizoyithinta from 1:30 until 2, or ekuseni I don't touch a phone until ngenze umkhuleko wami, prepare ingane, all this stuff, then I can only touch a phone. So until you learn to control yourself, it affects our relationships. Because sometimes most people, we spend time on our phones, but we end up not having a relationship with our ingane zethu. We end up not having a relationship nomyeni or yeah.
Manje mhlawumbe mangabe uyithola kuleso simo kwesokuthi uaddicted to ifone or umuntu ozwana naye uaddicted kwifoni, yiphi indlela elungile nengahamba kahle ukuthi umazise ngayo ukuthi hayibo uyayibona nithi ngathi unenkinga ukuthi nokuthi ukuthi niqale mhlawumbe nizama ukuthola usizo?
I think advise umuntu ukuthi you know what lento i-affect ama-relationships wakho or uyabona ukuthi i-affect umsebenzi wakho ngicela wekushise kancane umbonise ukuthi ngendlela ohamba ngayo it's not okay mhlambe if ungathi I know abantu aba-addicted sometimes abakulaleli because abayiboni into wrong but until ubabonise ukuthi iba-affecta kanjani mhlambe bangakwazi ukulalela but otherwise the only way is to help them. Sometimes if they can't control their time, then sometimes the best way is to delete ama apps. It's okay, ngizodelete Facebook yami, ngizodelete Instagram yami, ngizoba ne-break. Because taking a break iyakusiza ukuthi ucabange kahle ukuthi mina empilweni yami ngilana ngifuna impilo yami ihambeka ngendlela enje.
Yeah, ngoba siyababona laba bantu ubona umuntu nje ukuthi ifoni mingacisha nje kuthiwa kuphela ibattery ayi ubone ukuthi akasekho right lo muntu manje usebona ngazuthi sekhonto eshodayo khona ungasaphelele ngenxa nje ukuthi ke ifoni i-off. Manje dokotela uthi lukhona yini mhlawumbe usizo ke kubantu asebe addicted abayimlutha ezokuxhumana futhi nje ke lolo sizo lolo lubizwa ngokuthini ngiyabona kuthiwa i-digital detoxification mhlawumbe ungasichazela nje kabanzi ngayo i-digital detoxification.
Like I was explaining, digital detoxification, it has to do with reducing time or deleting ama apps wakho.
Oh, yikho lokho. Oh, digital detoxification.
Yes, it's part of digital detoxification because it has everything to do with ukusebenzisa isikhathi sakho kanjani. Kunama device lawo nayo.
Manje ukudetoxa lokho kanjalo ngokuthi kusho ukuthi usizo okwazi ukuyinikeza ngingakwazi ukuthi ngiyinikeze mina ngumuntu noma mhlawumbe kufuneke lukhona nani where maybe I go consult abantu aba professional.
Yebo, mabona ukuthi wena akwazi ukusiza you must just go to therapy, you go to a psychologist umtshela ukuthi nanke inkinga yami angikwazi to so addicted or noma angikwazi ukusebenzisa isikhathi sami bazokusiza.
Okay, hayi dokotela sasiphetha nje ke mhlawumpeni unga-advise uthini ke abantu abasolayo noma abasolayo ukuthi abaseduze kwabo ba-addicted to ifoni futhi ke ungaba-advise uthini ke abazali with regards to iy'ngane zabo nokusetshenziswa kwamafoni?
Ukusebenzisa ifoni right but then kufuneka yes, all the time funeka sikhulume nengane zethu sifahlalise phansi sibabonise ukuthi ikhona idanger yokusebenzisa ikhona sibabonise ama-advantages ne-disadvantages but kakhulukhulu sitshintshe kulama disadvantages bazokwazi ukubona ukuthi spending so much time ku social media impact enganganani and how much it can affect their own lives because how you spend your time it affects your tomorrow.
Hayi Dr. Mutlatlego siyabonga kakhulu ke ngesikhathi sakho sikufisele nosuku oluhle.
Okay, ngiyabonga manawe.
Ake mbukeli lowo bekudokotela uKatlego Mutlatlego ebesixoxa naye ngobungozi ke be-digital bokuba addicted ke lapha yana efonini kanjalo ke no social media. Okwamanje sishwike ezitolo sizobuya emva komzuzwana. Sikwamukele mbukeli wekhaya Jikelele. Mbukeli ke sike sakubikela ngodaba oluthinta umbungazo we-Economic Freedom Fighters nokukumbungazo kobubanjwe ngempela sonto enkundleni yezemidlalo iFNB eGoli. Njengamanje ke sizoxoxa noProfessor uNtsikelelo Breakfast ngalombungazo ke we-EFF. Professor Breakfast sikubingelele sikwamukele ohlelweni.
Sizibuyisele kwenzafazi.
Hey ibigcwele iphuphuma inkundla yezemidlalo iFNB ngomgqibelo. Ingabe uma ngabe ubheka uhambe kahle lombungazo we-EFF?
Msasazi ubuyimpumelelo and ifuneka i-EFF sincome ngelento engileyo kodwa ke msasazi in as much as i-EFF neke sincome kodwa ukhona umehluko phakathi kokugcwalisa i-stadium nokwenza kahle kunyulo. Ugcwalisa i-stadium into nje yokuba ngaba ubonakalisa umhlambi ke uba ngaba uready for unyulo kanye unamandla angakanina for unyulo but unyulo lona abantu abayesithi bayakwazi ukuvotela so it doesn't mean that because EFF igcwalise i-stadium abantu abaninzi bazayivotela but yonke into ihambe kahle na Friday sibonile igala dinner yonke into I think i-EFF ingathi izakwenza ngcono kunakuqala
Yebo Dr Breakfast hayi sibonile impela ukuthi cha kuhambe kahle lapha yana ingabe ucabangani ke ngenkulumo ke kaJulius Malema izinto ayithintile ngibonile lapha ukuthi uthintile udaba lika Putin wathinta udaba ke lokuthi vele inhloso zabo ezokuthi nje ke bakhiphe iANC emandleni ngo2024.
I think isizathu bangaba ba choose iFNB bayigcwalise kubonakalisa amandla abo ubangaba bangakwazi ikhupha iANC party. I don't think likhona iqela eliphikisa iANC ngoku elinokwazi ukhupha iANC ngokunokwayo. Umzekelo if ujonga ipercentage yeDA ipha kwi20s neEFF ingu number 3. So zingakwazi nje ubangaba uthatha votes away from the ANC but not bangaba zikhuphe. But into ezithile izinto esizaziyo lento ka Putin and you took it because at the moment xa ujonga i-world order kukho lento kuthiwa unipolar world order, meaning that ilizwe licontrola ihlabathi imelika. So i-EFF ikholelwa kule nto kuthiwa i-multipolar world order, meaning that bakubekho amazwe amaninzi alinganayo but ngoku akulingana. That's why ke ngoku i-EFF ikholelwa ukuba ngaba yona isupporta uPutin kunye neChina, and of course imvile sithi bangaba abantu babayikwaye la conference ye-BRICS izaba khona and that bona basupporta uPutin. But of course zikhona ezinye athethe ngazo into zohwaphilizo lanto bathi bona bohwaphilizo njengoba ngumnumzana uPhanyeza Lusufi le baqesha abantu pha eGauteng in exchange for votes according to bona as EFF and Ramaphosa akakho ngaphezu kunomthetho. Nezinye izinto abafuna uzenza bona as EFF if banongena elulawulweni. So I think ibintetho enhle le ebeyenza but sawubona bangaba izakwenza njani na xa kukho unyulo, but I think ibindlela yocampaigner also leyana campaigner eli. I think unyulo luzayo lizaba exciting because kujongwe into bangaba ingaba kuzaba kho i-coalition arrangement na after unyulo kanye iANC iyabuyela na.
Solwazi uBreakfast njengoba kade ukhuluma nje uke wathinta udaba lokuthi ukugcwalisa istadium phela kusho ukuthi ukwenza kahle into esese mhlawumbe siqaphelekile leyo ukuthi hey bagcwalisa istadium siyababona abaningi kodwa mangabe sekuziwa ke kuthweni sekuyavotwa akusalingani lezi inombolo kade uyibone ezitaladweni inombolo kade uyibone estadium. Mengabe ngokubona kwakho yini edala lokho?
Mina mthathazi ndinakubizwa ngumuntu esihlobo sami bangaba ndihambe naye ngimkhaphe nje istadium nakho ukuya phana ngingeyo member ye-EFF uyomamela nje kodwa xa ndivota ndingavoteli i-EFF. So afunekanga ke ngokusi-confuse into ezimbini, indlela abantu abavota ngayo nento bangaba abantu bayakwazi u-attenda i-rallies of i-political parties ezithile. But of course ikhona izinto abanye abantu abangazixhasiyo kwi-EFF. Umzekelo ngathi i-audience i-EFF epitcha kuyo i-message yayo ngabantu abatsha nabantu abahluphekileyo, but ke ngoku kukho lento yabantu bangaphandle bathi bona le-EFF ezi borders zilapha eAfrica abazixhasi, so afuna into bangaba kube kwi-Africa A1 i-United States of Africa. But abanye abantu abayisupport abayixhasi zonke leyo, so bacinga bangaba imbangi bangaba bahlupheke into bangaba kubekho abantu bangaphandle. Of course ayonyani lonto leyo because even if unothatha zonke i-foreign nationals uzawuphinda ube nengxaki yenhlupheko. But ipoint yami into bangaba lo mcimbi wabantu bangaphandle abanye abantu abavumelani noJulius Malema in particular kunye ne-EFF malunga nalonto leyo.
Kukhona ke nabanembuzo ngodokotela uNdlozi, kwenzekeni kuNdlozi ku-EFF?
I think banombonile phana sazi but ya dombonile phana ngomgqibelo dombonile I think bekhona nakula galadina party if umamele ispeech sakamnumzana uMalema umamele ngolesihlanu ingathi uthi bangaba bakhona abantu ingathi bazama ukwenza intshukumo zokumkhupha kanye abangaxolanga ubukhokheli bakhe. So ngomnye umcimbi ke ngokulowo nqono ba udala ingcwabangcwaba akwi-EFF ngokubantu abaxolanga even indlela i-EFF eqhube ngayo kunyulo lo masipalati besithi ke ingathi umnizomali party I don't think ukhona umuntu pha kwi-EFF on par with umalema ne-EFF ingathi nge-one because if unoyeka umalema pha I think inga collapse i-EFF and of course sizile i-warning aye wayisenda to Nansika uSouth ke uDeputy wakhe bangaba mhla waze akaxola indlela akhokhela ngayo makamxelele because yena akabaxolile abantu abamnqashayo. So zikhona ingxaki ezikhoyo pha kwi-EFF but I think into normal leyo apho abantu bakhona zikhona ingxaki.
Dr. Breakfast manje ke ubona ukuthi kumele ukuthi ashawe uvalo yini ke amanye nje ke amaqembu ezombusazwe ngobe kwenziwa i-EFF ngempela sonto.
Izawubeka i-pressure kumanye amaqembu ezempilo because lapho bayenzileyo in as much as ingathethi bangaqhuba ngcono kunyulo party iyakhuthaza so i-standard basisete sa high grade so nezinye political parties awufuzela but i-political parties I don't think ifuneka zibe under pressure because azifani nemali nabantu abaxhasayo yonke nje because ukwenza laa nto funeka ube nemali kuqala ibhasi funeka uzi-organizile zonke zinto ya.
Ucabanga ukuthi leli qembu ke solwazi selikhulela dlondlobala kangakanani ke kule minyaka eyishumi nje lasungulwa?
Ikhulile because siyasikhumbule isekwe 2013 inenyanga isengubhapha ya zibandakanye kunyulo lokuqala ngo-2014 yafumana i-seats ezi-6 kunyulo lesibini yafumana i-6 ezi-12 I think izafumana i-seats ezi-12 kulinyulo sizawungena kulo so yenza kahle i-EFF msasazi great ingu-number 3 kwi-political parties lapha eMzantsi Afrika ndiqhobela izandla mna because imbali sibona ukuthi bangaba amaqela yaphuma kwi-ANC aye angenzi kakuhle umzekelo yi-UDM i-COPE namanye amaqela so I think ngumzekelo omhle yona i-EFF.
Sibonge kakhulu ke Professor Breakfast ngesikhathi sakho nje sikufiseleke futhi ke nosuku oluhle.
Enkosi kuNkosi.
Ake mbukeli sesifike ekupheleni ke kohlelo lwethu ekhaya jikelele. Sibonge kakhulu mbukeli ngokusuhlanganyele kanye nathi. Siyakuthokozela ukuthi sihlale nawe la ohlelweni. Kodwa kungakhathazeki phela siyazi ukuthi usukhathazekile. Cha, siyabuya nje nakusasa ekseni ngesikhathi ke esifanayo sizobe sikhona la. Silinde wena nje ukuthi sokwethulila wonke umgodla wethu sizobe suwetshethe. Makholi.
Eke hayi uthethe yonke ikhonto engaphinde ngiyongeza. Waveza kumaya isekho bethunana. Masibe kunye kwakhona ngomso. Hey, ndithe andizuvela xa uvela but icamera yabanithi. Yathi tha. Lalela.
Singakushiya kanjani ngaphandle?
Ningandishiya njani bethuna? Oh, ndiyakwazi kaloku wena. Hayi man. Sibambe ngazibini kwigqiza lonke le ekhaya jikelele nawe mbukeli apha ekhaya ngokuba ube nathi. Qinisekani kaloku into yokubana niqhagamshelana nathi kumakhasi onxibelelwano nisixelele kaloku izinto ezithe zaqhubeka ngale mini namhlanje. Mna ndithi umntu abe nenhliziyo efana naye.
Nibe nosuku olumnandi nisale kahle.